All right, guys. Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. My apologies. I have to make sure to turn the mic on. How many times have I done this video without any sound? It's the worst because I have to repeat everything as I go. Good morning, all. Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo. Click on that. Turn notifications. Subscribe to our channel. Like our videos. Really do appreciate it as always. It is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. Let's go ahead and get started with the market. Dow futures are up 14 points, NASDAQ futures up 7, S&P futures basically flat. Russell 2000 futures are slightly green. Crude oil is down 2.5%, 104.93 a barrel. Gasoline futures down 2.69%, $3.28 a gallon. Gold futures are down as well. We rejected that 2000 level, what we talked about, 1967 an ounce. Silver down 1%, 25.87. Let's take a look at bond yields continue to fall, to rise. Bonds continue to fall 2.911%, up 1.71%. Dollar index is up as well, 0.13%. $100.90 is the actual index. 2256 for the VIX, currently up 1.76% this morning. Euro dollars up about 12 pips, 107.92. 128.58, 160 pips up. Dollar yen. So my forex traders who have been trading dollar yen, congratulations, because if you've been bullish, you've been killing it. Bitcoin is up nearly 1%, 41,060 on future side. We're above 3,000 again on Ethereum futures at 30.58. All right, some news today. Let's go ahead and just bring up Twitter, a lot easier. Here's a couple of news here. Plug is up 7.6% pre-market as Walmart liquid green hydrogen supply deal is put in place. TSA will not enforce COVID mask mandate on planes, public transit after court ruling, the White House says. So masks are done. The Florida judge repealed that. Rosenblatt initiated coverage today. Facebook or Meta with a neutral rating of 223 at target, $223 per share. Remember, when they do a target, it's 1 year ahead. So for the next 52 weeks. Apple 184 target. Amazon 3000 target, all neutral. Disney has a buy rating of 177 target. Let's take a look here. Google buy rating 4,183 target. Roku buy rating with 188 target. Twitter, neutral with a $48 target, which is where we are currently. Spotify, $150 target. And Netflix, neutral as well, $354 target. This is from Rosenblatt today. U.S. housing starts unexpectedly rise to fastest pace since 2006. I went ahead and made a post on that on Instagram regarding building permits. That's a leading indicator of new housing being built. 1.873 million home permits were requested. Building permits to build new homes in March. That did beat 1.82 million estimate. It was higher than the previous as well, 1.859 million. U.S. building permits are up 0.4% month over month. Estimated was negative 2.4%. So I guess inflation hasn't really cooled the demand in terms of housing. And again, interest rates are higher too. Again, you can see that 2.9%. Let's go ahead and take a look quickly. We'll go to bankrate.com, 30-year mortgage bank rate average. So for anyone who's interested in a home or something like that, it's important to keep an eye on the mortgage rates. They could take a look here, 30-year fixed, national average right around 5%. On a 15 years, right around 4.3%. So again, historically speaking, it is still low, historically speaking. I hate to time interest rates. That's tough, but when I refinanced last year in August, I basically hit almost the low. I just got really lucky. So I wouldn't try to time it. Again, if you find a home that you really like, just go for it. I mean, you could always refinance later if rates do go down. So worst case scenario. Again, obviously I would recommend at least putting the 20% equity down. If you have an FHA, totally different story. Best thing is to speak to a mortgage broker regarding your home needs and what have you. Again, I'm not a real estate agent. So that's what we had in terms of news today. That was a big one, was the building permits. We took a look at the mortgage rates as well. All right, let's take a look at E-mini futures together. That's really the most important thing. Again, we're going to go to the daily. And I had my alert last night. I am short S&P futures, and I also have SPY puts. You could see right around 44.09 is your 50-day. Until we break that 50-day moving average, I'm still going to be short the market. At least temporarily. Yes, there is an inverse head and shoulders formation on S&P and NASDAQ. Yes, but 43.50 seems to be that support there. If we break that, I think the worst we'll get to around 4,300, maybe 43.20. If you remember, this was basically the big boost from mid March, which is right about a month ago. So again, all we're doing right now, the last couple of days, is really consolidation in between a range between these ranges here, the 50% and the 61.8 Fibonacci level, around 44.54, 43.71. That seems to be where we are currently. So everything is all about ranges. Again, when I used to teach masterclass, I used to teach about ranges in terms of the house. Again, right here is like your basement, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and then your penthouse. Penthouse near the all-time high. It's easy to remember that. And then, the basement being near the floor. So again, right now we're basically in the second floor, kind of just hovering there. Until we start breaking down to the first floor, or we start soaring to the third floor, then we can start making some, some ideas or some trade ideas and see what we can do, long at least, if you can do break above that. But until then, you're just waiting now on the 50-day moving average. I did a video on that on TikTok. Apologize for my TikTok skills. I don't have much. So again, it's just going to be information. I have to learn how like cool stuff works, all these filters and everything. But I'm old, so it's all good. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's answer some questions. John Lee asked, thoughts on Apple calls for today? Can you show your chart for Fibonacci? Oh, how? Let's do it. Yeah, that's easy. So we'll go to Apple here, and Apple is pretty simple. Doing Fibonacci in TOS is easy. We're going to go ahead and remove the drawing. We're going to go to drawings, drawing tools. We'll go to the percentage, which is Fibonacci retracement. I did it based on the most recent lows, which was October, or the most recent lows from the Russian lows. Let's just call that Russian invasion lows. So again, you could do it by any time period you want. You can do it for the minute chart if you wanted to. But we're going to start here from the lows that came from the Russian invasion. So I'm going to go ahead and look at 182.94 is our top point, which is by the wick. We'll click there, and there we are. So again, you have extensions below, you have extensions above, but we don't have any extensions above. If you remember, this was that breakout from November. So again, here is your Russian invasion low, basically in the market as well. And that is 100% retracement. If we go back to it, you can flip it how you want. Some people put 100% retracement at the lowest or the highest. Again, it's really up to you. The numbers kind of just flip. Again, the distance is still the same, but again, the numbers just kind of flip. Like 23.6 would be 78.6 and vice versa. So right now, what are we doing on Apple? 162.65 on the daily. Since you're talking about today, let's do the hourly. And again, we're kind of hugging that support around 162.65, 166.53. Really, all you can do is just wait for that break of 166.53 before anything can change. But until then, you don't do much. Even to short, I would wait for 162.65 or at least 163.51. 163 should be a happy medium for that. Hi, man. Calls on SPY, please. I would not do SPY calls because of the fact, well, I have SPY puts personally. But again, we're right near support of 437.07. Remember, we're talking about S&P futures, those levels. Again, same deal. We actually have, now we are in the, second floor of the house in comparison to the Russian invasion low. So again, we're right in the second floor. So if we do break that, 425 would be your next level on the daily. So again, you have to stay short because why? You're still below the 50-day moving average on SPY. If we break above that, then again, it gets interesting. But until then, you just have to wait. There was a gap to fill here right around 445.87. That'd be a really good place to start. Maybe some 445 calls if we do break this 50. So again, I like that setup. Maybe we get to about 441 on SPY, and then we can start hitting the 445 calls. That would not be a bad idea. Let's see if we can get, maybe earnings get a little better than expected. Sure. And we'll see where we go from there. We just broke 43.82. Let's see, 43.81 now. Well, that's good because I'm short on futures and I'm short on SPY. Oh, I have SPY puts. So yeah, I do expect us to at least break below 43.71 today. Worst case, I think we get to around 43.55, 43.50, and then we could bounce from there. That seems to be very strong support currently. Again, we've just have a downward trend on S&P futures. You got to ride that down, at least temporarily, until something changes, whether, China gets out of this COVID stuff. They had a lot of lockdowns. If the Russian thing with Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, if that gets solved, maybe we have a peace deal. I know I hate saying that, but again, in terms of hoping for that. But again, that's really the only bullish thing we can have, or we have inflation calm down with CPI and PPI next month. We just had it. So maybe in May, we do get that inflation peaks or rolls over a little bit. For example, we've had costs for shipping on actual boats and ships. They're actually going down in price. So maybe inflation's going to roll over a little bit. Maybe that puts the brakes on the Fed. But again, we need something to kind of hang our hat on, whether it's China gets away from the COVID stuff, Russia and Ukraine, a peace deal, and inflation tames. That's really the only three things. We just need to get one. We just need to get one to get bullish short term. But again, it's something to look forward to. So that's why it's so important to look at the headlines. It's important to know your fundamentals too, your macros, not just be a technical trader alone. Oil is also falling right now, 3.11%. You could see we do have that 100-day moving average right around 103.86. I do have jury duty today at 1 o'clock. I just confirmed it. So I'll see what I could see in terms of the market as we go along. But I hope I don't get called. I hope I don't get chosen. I already got chosen once. Thoughts on banks continuing today? Let's take a look at it. Let's go to XLF. Rates are up. So again, the assumption is that banks will go up too. Now looking at the XLF, it is up pre-market. Let's take a look at what we traded yesterday, which was Citi. And Citi is looking like it wants to continue higher. I believe those 53 calls had a ton of volume. That's what we caught that. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is to break above 332.55 before we can do anything meaningful there. Let's take a look at JPM, one of my favorite banks to own. I own it. I actually bought the dip on them as well last week after earnings. So the 130 right here would be a good target on JPM. Let's see if we can break above this last wick. God, I hate to just do the 130s for that, but it might be just worth a scalp. But again, we need to break above 129.26 and see if we could target 130. 130 calls for the week and see if we can catch it quickly. Let's see if we get it. Good morning. Thoughts on DraftKings at these levels? I do own DraftKings. Obviously, all my speculation stocks, which I don't have amazingly huge positions on, are down. Obviously, I don't think I need to be here to tell you that. In terms of where you want to buy, the low here is 14.97. So I'm just going to wait for that and see if we break basically 52-week lows. If we can break that, then yeah, I'll take a look at possibly adding a little more money into it, into DraftKings. Again, I actually use DraftKings, so I like the company personally. I like to invest in companies that I myself consume. We just opened a Costco by my house not too long ago. I think it was in December or November. And that's what, if you remember, I put the top 10 stocks of 2022 being Costco. And I've always loved Costco. I just never bought it. And we did, and it hit all-time highs, and it's been absolutely going. It's a very good inflation fighter, let's just say. The all-time high was 612. It hit all-time highs last week, and then we slid a little bit. Now we're at 583. If I was looking to buy some more Costco, let's just say, I would like to get to around 461. I know. I like a deep discount. What can I say? Let's see. Good morning, Gar. Sue. Yes, Santiago, thank you. The Sue from Cristiano Ronaldo. Unfortunately, his son passed away yesterday, I read. So he's not going to play against Liverpool, man. Thoughts and prayers to his family. Even wealthy individuals who have all the fame, they're not, immune from tragedy. It's terrible. I can't even fathom burying your own child. It's terrible. What a terrible thing. But again, I expect Manchester United to lose against Liverpool. Liverpool's already a better team, so whatever. What about WFC? That's the bank, Wells Fargo. They reported earnings. Let's take a look here. That was, I believe, yesterday. Let's take a look here. Kind of the same issue, kind of the same deal with JPM. Again, that 100-day moving average on the hourly. Let's see if we could target that, a break of 47.60. It'd have to be a very quick trade. I like to get out of financial stocks the same day. That's just me. I'm seeing articles talking about a slowdown recession in the economy after Ukraine gets resolved. What are your thoughts at the end of 2022? Well, we have a slowdown, Nick is asking. We do have a slowdown, and I believe Goldman Sachs reported that there's a 30% chance of a recession. Now, again, that's still a lower than expected chance. Here's what I see. The mask mandate being removed from planes, okay, I already thought we were going to already have huge demand for flying and everything like that. So again, I always the boomer mentality when it comes to the economic functionality or economic activity is really is really airports and malls. People are shopping, people are traveling, and that's such a big part of the economy. You look at housing starts, highest since 2006. That doesn't scream recession to me. Now that may mean you may get a revisit of a bear market, a correction, 10% on the S&P, but the stock market is not the economy. The economy is not the stock market. Two different things. But again, I don't see inflation really dampening demand out there because people still want those goods and they still want to travel. Even Delta Airlines CEO said that demand's through the roof. So someone's lying here. I don't know who. Again, I understand all those end of the world articles. That's the only way you get clicks nowadays. I get it, but I don't think a recession is at hand. But they did say within 2 years. So again, you never know what might happen. But if a Russia-Ukraine thing does get fixed, I don't think it'll be a sell the news. I think it would be one of those expectations that things would be better. Commodity prices will come down, and that would be helpful for everybody in Europe and the U.S. Oil prices would fall, natural gas would fall. So again, kind of rooting for peace here. A peace will resolve. But again, I think those three things that we were looking at: inflation, COVID, China cases, and Russia, Ukraine. Those are your three big things. I know a lot of people talked about rates, but I'm going to lump that in with inflation. One of those three have to work out in a bull's favor and us first to go higher. If we kind of just stay stuck in where we are with these three categories, let's just say, we're going to fall a little bit further. I would say 4,300 seems to be the level that we may just revisit. Again, I know the inverse head and shoulders, but it seems to be right around 43.55. Again, you still have that left shoulder right around 4,300, 42.87. That's a possibility too. We could go lower. So again, I would be positioning myself as a trader for a little lower. As an investor, I will look for opportunities for stocks that I want to keep adding over time. I still buy SPY-G every week. But again, if there's a stock in particular you want to kind of add a position on, I was looking at Jets. I'm actually looking at bonds now. Bonds are starting to get attractive. Biggest drawdown in TLT ever. So imagine TLT, which is the 20-year bond index, does pay a yield, and it's a safe yield. The lowest is 115 in the last 20 years. I like that. I want to see that. So again, I might just start a position in TLT. Interesting enough. Are you worried about delisting with NEO? That's in regards to talks of DD. No, I'm not worried about it. If I was worried about it, honestly, I would probably sell. But we are below the 23.6 fib line. Again, I like the electric vehicle. I like the story coming out of China. They actually sell cars, unlike some other companies out there. But again, it's just a wait and see approach. These kind of high flyer stocks, guys, they're going to take a lot of patience, and they're going to take a lot of resolve, because they're going to be this way, up and down, up and down, up and down. But again, there's a lot of opportunity out there for names that are not lumped into those speculation meme names or really high flyer names that are still trading at a pretty decent value. But again, you need to start look at the names that are really expensive: energy, healthcare, staples. Again, I love Procter & Gamble, but it's trading at almost an 89 PE. It's expensive. Again, people are paying that premium to go to safety. If that's the case, why wouldn't bonds be? Now, obviously, because interest rates where they're going. But again, TLT, I like when I hear the word all-time low, or those kind of opportunities. Usually, those are buying opportunities. Remember COVID? We had 52-week lows after that. Good time to buy. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I will not be on this afternoon. I do have to do jury duty. I don't know what time that ends, so I don't want to leave you guys kind of just waiting and hoping. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your morning, and make sure to hit that like button if you love these videos. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.